Renewable Energy Directive, RED. Okay, guys, so what I would like you guys to understand right now is it will or it might happen the ban of palm oil. Okay, so from here on, I would like to explain to you guys about this EU ban. Okay, the EU concern was that all palm greenhouse gas as forests are being cleared for crops planting. So which means the reason why they are placing the ban on palm oil is because of the deforestation that's happening for the plantation of the oil palm. But actually, in Malaysia, we have managed to preserve 55% of our land as the forest cover. So we actually not, we are on a different case and we should not be banned on palm oil. Okay, and then in our NGO, our main concern, our main aim is to gain or to gather a community of palm oil advocates to combat against this anti-palm oil rhetoric, which is funded by anti-palm oil lobbyists in Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, like any non-governmental organization, we work on a voluntary basis, we fight for our cause on a voluntary basis. So, of course, we have these people right here, but right now our main focus is for the youth, okay? When we talk about volunteerism, we are doing something on a voluntary basis. Okay, so right now I just want you guys to, get inspired and do a lot of volunteering, because for me or in our organization, we believe that for the youth, volunteerism is a way to gain a lot of skill which can be carried to their work or their respective workplaces. Okay, volunteering allows youth to develop many skills, build confidence, improve communication, increase a sense of responsibility, cultivates teamwork and encourage innovation. Okay, this all may seem to be, rather like an idea. It seems impossible, but believe me, this can actually be done through by joining a non-governmental organization. Okay, for this reason, I want to encourage us all, especially for the youth, to be part of this movement. Okay, Planters United have plans to organize activities to combat against this ban of palm oil. Okay, we plan to organize forums on palm oil, which we can dispel the myth, we can present the facts about palm oil. We have all the facts, we just need to fight for it. And then we also want to empower the advocates by organizing workshops on public speaking, writing, and digital marketing, so that our advocates are equipped to spread the movement about this palm oil industries. Okay, our goal is also to be able to engage the European government directly and facilitate the passing of memorandums and be part of roundtable discussion about palm oils. Okay, so in the first, you guys would thought this might be some kind of simple movement just because for a simple cause, but actually we do have a way on doing it. We do have a way on how to overcome this. So, but just by the thing that I told you just now, we would like to pass a memorandum and we would like to have a roundtable discussion among us in the organization so that we can fight against this ban of palm oil by this European Union. Okay, all in all, we want to create awareness and on the issue of banning of palm oil. We hope we are not alone on this matter and hope all of you would play a part in spreading this message about the EU ban and its potential effect to all our farmers and our country's economy. Now, okay, now I really hope, I urge all of you to be spreading this message about this EU ban, because I don't think we actually have the awareness about this. Okay, please spread around about this message because it really affects our small planters, our economies. And then, so my fellow friends, I really hope that you recognize your role, your crucial role that we each play to ensure the well-being of our Malaysian planters and their families, okay? So before I end my speech today, okay, so would you all do me a favor by signing up as an advocate? And then before I end my speech, all of you, you have your smartphone right now, just like what our speaker said just now, Syed Tamat Satu. Please use it very well, and please type in, we have a bit link right now, we have reset it up for you, http://bit.ly advocate for palm oil. Okay, I really hope that you guys can register in Planters United. For further inquiry, we also have booths set up outside, and come and talk to us and get to know us more. Thanks for fighting along with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Planters United. So as the youth and the future of our nation and the world, we have a big responsibility. And I think we hold the biggest responsibility towards the environment, the nature, and to preserve them, and so that our children can see it. So I think Planters United is an amazing initiative. Do take your time to go and check them out. And up next, we have our very own Vice Chancellor and President of Help University, Professor Dr. Paul Chan. Stage is yours, sir.
Yeah. Afternoon. It was around 1970 that I came to know about the oil palm industry and the palm oil industry. I was doing a PhD on the export tax system of Malaysia, and it affects the rubber industry and the oil palm industry. And what I learned was somewhat amazing. It's a very complex industry. But what I discovered lately is really surprised me, because our plantation industry has become so sophisticated. So I never knew, between all these few decades, almost 40 odd years when I did my PhD and now, that there are so many compliance requirements. And there's so much ignorance amongst our own people about this great industry. First, the importance of the oil palm and palm oil in terms of export earnings, in terms of employment, the auxiliary support industries as part of the whole value chain. So we know very little, very superficially about palm oil and oil palm. As Datuk earlier said, he's such a fiery speaker. He should be the minister in charge of a government department. And afterwards, YB will explain to you that we have been attacked for a variety of reasons. It's because we are a very important player in this industry. And what we have is the cheapest and the most value-adding. But unfortunately, some of these NGOs and various organizations paid by competitors are very sophisticated in the way they market against our industry. So one of our duties, therefore, as a university, is to have forums like this, to educate our own people. So when YB explained to me, I said, yes, we would support, because it is our duty to eliminate ignorance. And I'm so delighted to hear so many things today, about dietary and healthy living, and in particular, the ecosystem that we actually comply. And unfortunately, the whole thing is distorted. Now, YP, we have students from about 6-7 countries here today. We have a contingent from India, our own students, of course, from South Korea and Indonesia and elsewhere, from China and so on, and some staff members and people from the public. We would like to support this industry because it is something that is worthy of our support, and because it contributes, as Datuk says, close to more than 1 million employment. If I'm not mistaken, there are about 600 over 1,000 smallholders involved in this. And in the longer term, we have to look after the welfare of these people. And in this context, we would like, as a university, to cooperate with the Ministry of Primary Industries. In terms of various research, we have a very large business school, and many of them are required to do research, and it would be good if they look into the creative part of marketing. The economic students can look at price stabilization schemes, the competitiveness of the industry, and so on. And probably we would like to work with the planters, a very well-known, established institution, global-wide. And congratulations to you people, from 25 to 220 pages and so on, the dietary people. So by the way, I violate all the dietary rules. I love all the unhealthy food. And yesterday I was in Singapore checking my health, and my blood pressure was about 145 over 120. Yeah, and it's because the nurse who took my pressure was very sexy. So a different reason for that. Anyway, I won't want to say much. I want to give all the time to YB. Because she is the authority and she will advocate for our industry. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Paul Chan. So is everyone participating in the online forum, on Slido? Yeah. So we'll hope to see some pretty good stuff there later. Up next, I would like to call YB Teresa Kok, the Minister of Primary Industries of Malaysia, to give a speech. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Paul Chan, President of Help University. We have Datuk Dao from ISP, ISP, and then we have Val from Malaysian Palm Oil Council, and all our fellow students and also staffs of the Help University. Very good afternoon to all of you. Actually, I came from a cabinet meeting, and I come straight here and meet up with you. I think before I go on, I would like to just know who am I addressing to? Malaysians, can you please raise your hand? Malaysia, Malaysian, so more. I think half. How about like Korean? Ada? No, Indian? Oh, Indian, we have 20. Indian, for information, India is the Malaysian major importer of palm oil. Number 1 country is India. Number 2 is European, Union, and number 3 is China. So who else are here? Japanese? Any Japanese? No, Chinese? From China? Oh, 中国. Okay, we have about 10 of you. Okay, good. I have a picture of who am I talking to. So I want to tell you that before I became minister, before I become in government, all the while I was born in KL. I studied in KL, and my constituency is in Kuala Lumpur. So in Kuala Lumpur, you hardly see any oil palm trees, right? Are you familiar with oil palm tree? Yes, huh? Anyway, that is a KL. Until I become minister, and I come into my ministry, frankly speaking, I also quite shocked to see that I am entering into a warfare together with the planters, together with the especially the smallholders of the oil palm industries, and we are entering into an international warfare, not knowingly. So I would like to first thank Dr. Paul Chan for allowing us to meet up with y'all and explain to you what we expect you to assist in this whole thing. Like just now, the speakers had mentioned that the palm oil industry contributes about near to 5% of the GDP, meaning that the revenue of export is about 77.6 billion ringgit. That was in 2017. So now the palm oil price is pretty low now. You can see that those, especially in rural areas, the small planters, the pekebun kecil, they are really suffering. Every day I read the news, they are suffering because the palm oil price is low. And this industry, and it involves a few million people. We are talking about the families. We are about 650,000 smallholders. Okay, let's say every family got 4 persons. That you know that easily a few million people's livelihood have been depending on the palm oil industry. Okay, what is our problem now? Our problem now is that we want to export our oil because palm oil, compared to all other cash crop, is the best crop that produce oil. And when we go into EU, we compete with other types of oil, the canola oil and sunflower oil, soybean oil. So you see that, if you go to search in the internet, you can see that palm oil has been whacked really nicely. And for EU, they want to phase out palm oil by year 2030. That means we can't export our oil to EU anymore. The accusation against us, as you have heard from other speakers, is deforestation. And they accuse us for killing the wildlife, the orang-utan. So you also heard from just now the young man, that Planters United, the young man, that, we have, in Malaysia, we have more than 50% of forest cover. More than 50%. When Switzerland is one of the countries that against palm oil, in their parliament, they passed a resolution, more than 2/3 of the MPs in Switzerland, the lower house, they want palm oil to be phased out from any type of agreement with Malaysia or with Malaysia. And then when the bill goes up to the upper house, the Senate is 20-20, 20 against 20 say no. And the speaker at that time threw her vote to the no. That make us like survive, in terms of the parliament. And in Ukraine, they voted against palm oil. You might get shocked to hear the kind of resentment against palm oil in other countries. The parliaments passed the vote. The same goes to if you go to Norway, you go to many of these countries, it's the same. The parliament take a stand, no palm oil. And if you go to EU, you will find that more than 1,700 types of consumer products with the label of palm-free, no palm oil. I never understand that, those people can go against palm oil to that extent, as if this is something poisonous, cancerous, or whatever you name it. I felt very upset, frankly speaking. When I went to EU, we do the lobby work, We talk to the European Commissioner, we talk to the ambassadors and all that. When I hosted before I came back to Malaysia, when I hosted the dinner, with the ambassadors, the EU commissioners and all that, I told them that, look, if you come to Malaysia, you will see all types of cooking oils in our supermarket, right? You have your sunflower oil, soybean oil, or whatever type of oil in our supermarket. We Malaysians never impose any ban. We never go against any type of cooking oil. True? Okay. I feel very strange when I come to Europe that you are deadly against the oil produced by my country. You're deadly against palm oil. For what? So they all like, they cannot, they don't know how to rebut you. But I mean, frankly speaking, deep down in our hearts, we know this is business competition. They use the excuse of environment to go against us. So here, before I go on, I think we should have some more discussion and dialogue. I would like to just show 2 video clips. You see, whatever I tell you now, for us, it's like we don't understand why they have been, told like that, why they are deadly against palm oil. I want to show you 2 video clips that how the anti-palm oil sentiments have influenced the people in Europe. And even from since young, since small, they were told that palm oil is bad. So maybe we show one first. Hear me? This one, have you seen this? Okay.
Tan in my bedroom, and I don't know what to do. She plays with all my teddies and keeps borrowing my shoe. She destroys all of my houseplants and she keeps on shouting, ooh. She throws away my chocolate and she howls at my shampoo. There's a orangutan in my bedroom and I don't want her to stay. So I told the naughty orangutan that she had to go away. Orangutan in my bedroom, just before you go, why were you in my bedroom? I really want to know. There's a human in my forest and I don't know what to do. He destroyed all of our trees for your food and your shampoo. There's a human in my forest and I don't know what to do. He took away my mother and I'm scared he'll take me too. There are humans in my forest and I don't know what to do. They're burning it for palm oil. So I thought I'd stay with you. Orangutan in my bedroom, now I do know what to do. I'll fight to save your home and I'll stop you feeling blue. I'll share your story far and wide so others can fight too. Orangutan in my bedroom, I swear it on the stars. The future's not yet written, but I'll make sure it is ours.
Where it was banned by Clearcast, is it? That the broadcasting authority in UK. The one that you read in the papers, if you have come across that news. It was banned, then it takes a child that started a petition. They got how many millions? They got the child come out in the press conference, started a petition that wants this cartoon to be broadcasted in the television, and she got more than 1 million support. So you can see that from this cartoon, every day 25 orang-utans die. Where did they get this figure? Have you ever heard of orang-utans being killed because of the our oil palm field? I never heard of that. We all love orang-utans so much. Why shall we, do that? Okay, that is how they exaggerate. That is how they distort the facts. So this one, it influenced the children, and they use the celebrities. What's the name of that lady? Emma Thompson. Is a singer, right? Oh, British actress. Emma Thompson. They use her voice. So they use celebrity come and go against our palm oil. So this is how they play the game. It's playing emotion, to create the kind of anti-palm oil sentiments. Okay, do you have another second one? Look, you see, they target consumer product. This is Dove. Okay, look at it. So you see Dove being targeted, Nestle being targeted because they use palm oil in their product, in the shampoo, in your Milo, in your Nestle, the what they call Nestum, and so on. So they said, when all these big companies they stop buying palm oil from us, it is going to have a great impact to our economy. So now, to cut short is, you know how they play up sentiments, play up people's, use psychology, especially those students, you study psychology or advertising course, you know that what they're up to. So now we have to fight back, okay? We have to fight back because this is, for me, the whole oil palm tree, every inch of it is useful. On top of oil, the leaves, you know, they have the biomass, the other parts of the oil palm trees can be used to export. For example, like biomass. You know, every day we exported so many containers to China and to Japan. For when we ship to Japan, they use it to turn into electricity. The pellets turn into electricity, and China they use it to cover the desert. They call the green to turn the desert into, you know, oasis, the green to plant trees and all that. They use our oil palm biomass, and we what do you call that? This is a God-given tree that we have to defend because it affects our economy. So how should we fight back? In the past, for the government, we always depend on MPOC. Bell is here, Malaysian Palm Oil Council. They are the one that do the promotion of our palm oil. They are the one that engage with those buyers, players, you know, industry players in overseas, in EU and so on. And of course, the former ministers from Tun Lim Keng Ge until all these former ministers, they used to go to EU to do a lot of lobby work. But, you know, the more we fight, the more we find that the sentiments against palm oil has increased. For me, when I observe it for a few months, I noticed that, number one, we don't have the money. Greenpeace has all the fund to come out, produce it, the video clips. They can go do demonstration everywhere. Number two is they're playing the emotion. They tell the half-true story. They did not tell the full, give people a full picture. So they are also being paid to do the job. And we don't have this kind of money. So we would like to invite the fellow Malaysians, especially the young generation. We are now in a borderless world, right? Whatever happened here is already Facebook Live already, right? Already Facebook Live, people already keep asking questions. If you have a friend in US, immediately they watch the Facebook, they already know what I'm talking about. They already know what's going on here. We are in a borderless world. It is very important for young people like you who think that, hey, we cannot let this go on. Let justice be done to our product, especially our Malaysian palm oil. We all need to play a role to defend our product because this affects our economy and this is also justice to our industry. So that's why my ministry for next year, we are going to launch a one whole year campaign Love My Palm Oil campaign, Sayangi Sawitku. We want the Malaysians to all come out and defend the palm oil to go against the EU, the anti-palm oil campaign against us. So we wish to go into campus. You are the first campus we come to, Help University, thanks to Dato' Paul Chan. We want to form our ambassadors of Palm Oil Club. You will be our ambassadors. You will be the one that spread the knowledge. Whatever you learn today, you're going to share with all your fellow colleagues, your classmates, and also we would like to invite you to go with us, or maybe as part of your co-curricular activities, help us to go to the ground. Maybe go to the school. You can choose one school as your project. You go to the school, organize campaign, organize some activities to impart the knowledge that you have about palm oil to the children and to the parents. Something that is that you can do, and you can maybe organize some cooking competition, for example. While you're doing the competition, you spread the knowledge about the goodness of palm oil. I'm here. Do you know that today I consume a lot of palm oil or palm-based product. This morning I washed my hair with shampoo that contains palm oil. On my face, there is palm oil. Palm oil can turn into cosmetic products. My lipstick here with palm oil. So, and just now the lunch, I eat some, the fried stuff and the curry. It contains palm oil. All of us have been using, consume a lot of products with palm oil. So I would like to invite you all to work with us to form these ambassadors of Palm Oil Club. And we would like to, for the whole next year, in the social media, we hope that you can come forward to defend our Malaysian palm oil. And just how our Dato' Dao, I believe he has talked to you about MSPO, Malaysia Sustainable Palm Oil, and all that. For the whole next year, I mean, for the government and also the plantation sector, we are going to do a lot of right things also. Meaning that we want to impart good agricultural practices under the standard called Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil, MSPO, to all our plantation and also to the smallholders. And also we also impart all these good practices to the whole value chain, the palm oil mill to the palm oil refinery. So that our palm oil will be all certified when we come next year, until end of next year. All the palm oil that will be exported out of the country, they will all be certified. They all are traceable. The traceability, that is what EU always wants. So I think I'd like to end here. I'd like to, take questions. Maybe anyone of you have any questions before we go on. Otherwise, it'll be very boring. Ada apa-apa soalan? Any questions? Sure.
Okay, maybe basically none. We have seen the videos, and all of them, I would say, distortions. So many distortions, so many misrepresentations, factually and otherwise. Now, is there any way or efforts being made, either from your ministry or the government in general, to query, to pick this up with the advertising centers
environmental impact in the country would be like? Essentially, what would you do about the damage to the environment in the areas?
Okay, before I go on, are we supposed to all sit here? Huh? Yeah. Who was? Who is supposed to?
You actually spoke a bit too early. Call them up. I was supposed to, call you up all this now. Yeah. Yeah. Have a seat. Please have a seat.
Oh, okay. Okay, sure. So, anything you want to add on? Hello. About whether we can complain to the advertising authority, right? On all these advertisement. I think in Europe they practice freedom of expression. I mean, there is nothing to stop us from coming up with another video clip, coming up with another cartoon to clarify or rebut it, So they play with emotions, they distort the facts. It's actually our responsibility to clarify it. I mean, on the oil palm plantation thing, frankly speaking, if we plant other crops, there won't be issue, right? Right? If we plant other type of, we turn it into coconut, turn it into other things, you won't have EU to come out so strongly against that particular crop. So to answer the question on the no more expansion of the oil palm plantation, yes, I made that statement. And after I made that statement, I did not end there. I spoke to many of the Menteri Besar and the chief ministers in our meetings in Malaysia. Basically, I asked them that do not allow the oil palm plantation to continue to expand, because when they expand, that means they go into the forestry area. So generally, there is no objection from all these Menteri Besar and the chief minister. Even though the two states that we find they enjoy quite a lot of independence, like Sabah and Sarawak. The Sabah was the first state that came out, first state government that came out and say that Datuk Seri Shafiq Abdah, he issued a statement. You can find it from the internet. No more oil palm plantation in Sabah. He was the first one that said it in July. Then my last month when I visited the chief minister of Sarawak, he repeated it too. He told me he had made such stand in the State Assembly of Sarawak. So I think, for Selangor, the land in Selangor is so expensive. Why do you go to use plant oil palm trees? So generally, there is such an understanding. But of course, I'm trying to get them to some black and white to be done. That will be later. But you see, the question is, why do they want to single out this crop? Why do all this EU, all this Greenpeace want to single out, just focus on oil palm tree only? This is to be the question that we ask. You want to answer it?
Thank you, YB. Ladies and gentlemen, perhaps I can compliment YB's answer to a few questions raised. I noticed some of the question at Facebook. I'll just lump it up together. The first is basically the issue of land use. Land use is fundamentally enshrined in our federal constitution. We have National Land Code, which is basically covering Peninsular Malaysia. So as I mentioned earlier, if you are from Sabah, there is land ordinance, and Sarawak, likewise, they have their dedicated land ordinances. So all states within the Federation of Malaysia has got special rights on land. So let us understand ourselves first on the issue of land. Thou cannot plant any crop illegally on anybody's land. Very simple. We inherited that from our colonial masters. Let me emphasize here again, the discrimination efforts or campaign done by our competitor through, for example, the famous Greenpeace. Please Google what is their capacity in terms of money and cents. I think our YB minister is very, very polite. If I'm a minister, I would not say that we have no money. Because in the first place, we must believe in ourselves. If we do not have money, I don't think we are here. But let us be dedicated, civil-minded human beings. As much as we wanted palm oil to continue spearhead the market, how can somebody else who basically are paid to kill us, to attack us on something fanciful, which is basically, if you look at the actors and the cartoon, but imposed by civil society, using the medium, which is basically, we are all glued. This is Shaitan Mata Satu. In the English, literal meaning is one-eyed devil. Can you imagine the current consumers, the 7.3 billion human beings? Because the moment we have reached this level, we must be ready to rebut whatever pressure and challenges. That should be that way. And as far as Malaysia is concerned, all states within the federation has already committed. There is no more expansion. And we have a dedicated legislation known as Malaysian Palm Oil Board Act 1998. Wherever there is a dispute, look at that legislation in public domain, and we also have a dedicated the Food Act, which enshrine the quality and the meaning of what palm oil, which is edible, combined with, and then plus all the other byproducts of oil palm. But because I think the Almighty have created this unique crop, which is basically, if you look at the fruitlets, it comprises of lauric oil. Lauric oil in the kernel is equivalent to coconut oil, Cocos nucifera. And then the mesoclub is the crude palm oil. Therefore, that value is there. And that is why we have more enemies out there, either being funded by competitors or not. It is entirely up to the whim and fancies of our legislator. But in this modern world, although we can see the Greenpeace, do you think the government have the muscle and the resources to fight Greenpeace? However, for example, if company XYZ is the major exporter of palm oil product and their derivatives, do you think they have already instituted legal actions for your information? But in any trade war, going into battle in an international arena is humongous, and then the impact can be very time consuming, and the fact that we become frustrated is there. And that is why I whispered to this very handsome looking man, don't ever underestimate the power of public relations. And that is why I mentioned, although comically, if we battle out with money, we do not see that light, what's stopping me into falling in love with somebody in Switzerland who is a Muslim? But provided, I'm just trying to be, because I look at you guys, you're so serious when it comes to serious debate. But through the simple approach of, for example, if you have relatives in Switzerland, tell them, do you believe that slides or that video that we have seen just now? Then use this, which is human being but doable, priceless. If you are a citizen of Switzerland, which Switzerland, are you the best of human being in this entire world? They are not even a member of United Nations to start with, YB, isn't it? Yeah. And I can tell you, any Indonesian here, do you know that Indonesian had shown muscle? They joined UN many years ago, and they were among the only country today who get out of United Nations and rejoin again. Any Indonesian citizen here? Ada? Tak ada. But that is one example of courage, and that is one example of keberanian. There is no need to kill people with bullets now. But do you know the properties of glycerin? And these are where we need scientists to combat that. And like YB said, she has been very truthful and humble, and that's why she became minister. I end up becoming a planter. But nonetheless, minister post is only one. So don't fight her. You must embrace her. She is a city dweller. I'm a kampong boy. But what is stopping a kampong boy sharing with the minister, reach out? Because if you talk in court, do you know that it sounds like XYZ? It looks like XYZ, but certainly it's not XYZ. What legal language is there? And because palm oil is palm oil, it maintains Elias Guinnesses. Cocos nucifera is coconut. These are the scientific nature of it. We fight based on science, don't fight with basically as a fireman. Because if we produce another video clip to combat that, the battle will not be over. And that is why engagement is important. I'm happy to see the young men, but they did not mention your name. So are you hiding your identity? Let me also test you. What is your name? What? Amir Ashran. So that is why you must be powerful enough to reach out. And I like the way you say Planters United. I thought you're a football club. Meaning to say...
Dato Daud,
Yeah.
we need to take more questions. I know
Okay,
you're very,
yes, now
very passionate
Bell
about
is a
what's
PR
happening.
expert. That's why he must cut me off before I prolong talking. Yours, Bell.
We have to give an opportunity to all of you to ask questions to the minister, but I just want to put into very simple perspective the question you asked about expansion. Please keep in mind that the oil palm is planted on agriculture land in Malaysia. We've only got 5.8 million hectares, and globally it's about 19 million hectares. That constitutes only about less than 0.4% of the total agriculture land in the world, and that contributes 35% of the global oils and fats. So from that you can see how huge the contribution of oil palm or palm oil is. So when the Greenpeace or NGOs put across these facts, we are here just to correct that they're not giving you the real or the factual information. You need to check the facts. Don't believe what others tell you. Now I'll pass the session back to the minister. Thank you.
Hello, hi, YB. I have 4 questions for you. Question 1, what is the current inventory stock overhang in Malaysia? Yes, CPO. Question 2, why did Indonesia overtake Malaysia for the first position in the world? We used to be number 1. Question 3, is Pakistan still a big buyer of Malaysia palm oil? Because recently Dr. Mahathir met with the PM of Pakistan. So I want to find out whether Pakistan is still a major purchaser for palm oil. Question 4, many years ago, Malaysia used to fight the ASA, the American Soybean Association. They used a public relations firm called Hill and Norton. Now, are we engaging the lobbyists in UK or European to fight them? These are my questions, YB. Thank you so much.
Maybe Bell also can help me. Pakistan is our buyer, but not the major buyer. Our major buyer is India. The number 1 is India, then followed by EU, number 3, China. Pakistan is in the top 10, right? Number 4. And maybe we can sell more to certain countries, including the African countries. But the problem is sometimes you sell, you might not get the, what do you call that? The payment. Yeah, barter, yes. Barter trade is something that we can consider, but it has to be between B2B, the buyers and the buyer. And why Malaysia, what do you call it? Why Indonesia overtake Malaysia as a number 1? Because it has bigger land. You know, bigger, the land size is bigger than Malaysia, and there are 220 million population. Malaysia is just at 32 million. So when it's very natural when Malaysian firm, when they face a kind of not that much land, you know, that for them to continue the oil palm plantation, they go to Indonesia. So Indonesia now 1 year it produces about 40 million metric tons. Malaysia is 19 point something metric tons a year. So that's why we are not number 1 anymore. What is the other question? The stockpile is 3.01 million metric tons for Malaysia as of now. So, yeah, the record high. And tomorrow morning, I'm actually will be meeting with a lot of these refineries and some Malaysian companies to ask them to stop importing oil from Indonesia for our refineries, because when the neighbor to ask them to help our smallholders first, to use up our Malaysian oil first. But anyway, the good news is a lot of these palm oil analysts, they predict that next year the price will go up. There will be more intake. But the reason we meet with students and meet with the academics and students in the university is we need your help, because to fight, this is an international warfare, warfare of mind. We need you all to help us, especially in the social media. We are in a borderless world now. Anything that like we say, people can respond immediately. We need more students who use. You look at what they do is a very simple advertisement, right? Even you can use your handphone to produce it. So we would like to encourage you, maybe we'll come up with something creative to help to change the mindset, to tell the truth about our Malaysian palm oil. So that's why we want to form this Ambassador of Palm Oil Club in your campus here. We hope that this club, if in the next whole year you can organize a few events. You go down to Kampong, maybe. You go down to the urban area, go to the school and organize something and speak the truth. That will be very helpful in our whole campaign against that go against the anti-palm oil campaign in EU. Okay, any more questions? Yeah, please.
Is there any penalty for not fulfilling the certification of MSPO?
Yeah, we would like to come to end of next year. All the palm oil that will be exported will be certified. It's just a halal certification. We want to impose that. That is the only way to protect our palm oil industry. Especially when we want to sell the product to Europe. So this is what we want to achieve, and we also want to tell a good story to the international community that our Malaysian palm oil, we maintain the kind of standard, we have good agricultural, we implement good agricultural practices in our planting, in our palm oil mill, in our refineries. So we want to tell this good story to make our palm oil, to have higher standard. The higher standard compared to oil that produced by other countries. So we need actually a cooperation of, one is like you Malaysian people. Of course, like next year we are going to engage with the palm oil stakeholders, the planters, the refineries and so on, stakeholders. And we are going down to Kampong, to the smallholders, to tell them about good agricultural practices for oil palm in the rural areas. And we are going to have the whole series of activities and campaigns and programs throughout the country. So we wish to invite you to join us and participate in this campaign.
We have a large student mobility program for foreign students. So we can work with the Ministry of Education to introduce our international students to the industry. So it's necessary that you speak also to the minister and see how we can coordinate this for international students, a few 100,000.
Yeah, agree. I've spoken to the Minister of Education. He has no problem. He agreed that we should go into school, primary school, secondary school, and to university to create awareness on palm oil. There are lots of things fun thing you can do. You go to the school, you can do a drawing competition, right? You go to the campus, you can do photography competition on palm oil palm. You might want to. How many of you have not gone to the oil palm plantation? Can you raise your hand? How many of you have not gone to oil palm plantation? Do you want to go or not? Do you want to go? Yes? Okay, we organize one for you.
Perfect.
Instead of our students going all over the place to do student leadership programs, we can do some of these activities in plantations places.
Yep, YB, I whispered to Datuk Professor just now, insofar as our small contribution, ISP, we have a competition on technical, empirical research writing for our Planters magazine. Unfortunately, it's only open to Malaysian, irrespective of age. As long as it's passed through our peer review, there is monetary prizes, Cik Zainal. So to coincide with our International Planters Conference come July next year, I will encourage all of you who are in the process of writing either technical or general, as long as empirically research, there is monetary money. And this money does not come from myself or ISP. It is basically a donation and a bequest from past planters who have served Malaysia. These are all orang putih, but they have bequeathed in their will, although they are Christian, European, but they love this country as much as us during the colonial days. So that is to us legacy of serious people from that part of the world. There are also people who love us, and a lot of mixed marriages among the colonial masters who are like me but with blue eyes. It doesn't discriminate, but however, we welcome you, Dr. Professor. There is prize money in it for technical and general write-up, as long any topics related to Malaysian plantation industry. Don't discount the Hevea brasiliensis. I'm proud to state here, although the minister does not share with you, we are the #1 producer of clinical gloves and personal protective equipment called condoms.
Actually, are there any more questions from the floor? Because we are coming close to 5 o'clock, yes?
I just want to clarify something that I heard over the years. We have this haze problem which we inherit from a different country, and it was said last time that some of the Malaysian planters actually have gone to our neighboring country and were guilty of clearing land and burning forests and all that. And looks like all the advertisements just now is trying to hint at one particular country, which is not our country. So don't you think this is a problem that is beyond Malaysia? No matter what we do, how much efforts we put in Malaysia, it's not going to help unless we engage our neighboring country. Because once all the countries in ASEAN can come together and collectively do something, then they will have nowhere to go and film all these kind of films to exaggerate things and to generalize that this also happens in our country.
Yeah. Okay. Good question. Malaysia and Indonesia, we have formed the coalition called Council of Countries of Producing, Council of Palm Oil Producing Countries, CPOC, we call it. Indonesia used to be the chairman, and from next year onwards, Malaysia will be the chairman for 2 years. So I understand when you talk about the haze and all that on the burning of the oil palm plantation, the waste. I think you see it less now, right? So when we say good agricultural practices, Indonesia also improving its standard, Indonesia also come up with the ISPO, Indonesia Sustainable Palm Oil Standard. They also implement it, and also not to forget we have RSPO, the Roundtable Sustainable Palm Oil. It's a standard that is initiated by NGO and the business organization. So with all this standard that coming out now, so if Malaysia, if we are not serious in implementing our MSPO, Indonesia will catch up. Indonesia will catch up, then it will be more difficult for Malaysia to push our palm oil to international market in future. So not to worry about this thing. Both countries need to survive, need to look good, And the problem with us now, no matter how much we do, they will still keep coming up with all these video clips, brainwash the mind of the people in the Western countries, and we will be at the losing end. Maybe you might want to ask, maybe we can sell more palm oil to India. No, why bother EU? Okay, the problem is EU is famous on setting the standard, you know. Whatever things that standard rules, regulation that they set, it's going to influence, you know, the world. So that is our problem. So we have to do it good, you know, have our good agricultural practices, you know, on our oil palm industry. And we also need to clarify a lot of misconception, lies, that falsehood that have been put forward. And then we have to talk to EU. Do you want to do business with us? You know, tell us what you want, why you discredit our product. This is against free trade, you know, fair trade. So then we can talk to them, you know, further. So now, I mean, the purpose of here is to invite you to join the battle to defend our product.
Thank you, YB. Just before we finish the forum, because it finishes at 5, I would just like to highlight that there are some questions that are there on Facebook with the password is 3030. Is it, Juliet? Because there's some questions posted from the...
Can I just very quickly clarify on this haze issue? I don't want y'all to go back thinking that the problem of haze occurs because of burning in oil palm plantations. Malaysia has got a very strict no burning policy. Haze occurred, yes, in 2015. It was also because of the slash and burn activities that were taking place due to the small farmers. There's a lot of small farmers that don't understand that you cannot burn. For them, the easiest thing is let's light clear off the land because they don't have income or money to do something better. That is when education, certification plays a role. When it comes into fighting global campaigns, you have to do it together. You cannot do it alone. We have a massive campaign happening in Europe, and that's because you have our other competitors, you have the NGOs, you have people with significant interests that don't want palm oil to get into the markets. So, you know, there are sometimes you may need to distinguish Malaysian palm oil with others, but there are other times you need to have a coalition of producers, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, or even people in Latin America to come together and help you to fight campaigns. That is why the minister is saying today, we cannot do it alone. The Palm Oil Promotion Council has been doing it for years, but we realize the campaigns are global. We need all your help. Every citizen of Malaysia, every other person has to be a true believer in this commodity. This country has 650,000 small farmers that depend on the oil palm sector. It's a huge contributor to our economy, to our well-being. It has helped to eradicate poverty in this country. Believe me, it has done a lot of good for our people, and it's doing more good for the 3 billion over consumers all over the world. All I can tell you is please join us in fighting the negative campaigns that are coming out because they are eventually hurting our economy and they are hurting our people. That's not the right thing. Thank you.
I just answered just one question because the rest of them, you know, with everywhere, you know, these questions. Who do I consult for advice or funding if I want to open a palm oil club or organize a palm oil event in my school? I think to answer this is can contact Malaysian Palm Oil Council, MPOC, can contact Bell, can email to them. Then they can come and organize a similar program. Yeah. Okay? Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the forum is ending now. I would like to thank Ms. Balwinda, Dr. Paul Chan, YB Teresa, and Dr. Daud. Thank you. Dr. Daud, do you still practice law? You don't? Oh, because I have a case to win, lah. I need you, lah, I think.
Yeah, we'll have some group photos now. We'd like to thank all the students who. Yeah, we're going to take a selfie. Is it some?